Head coach, if you want to have an opening statement to get things started.
Quickly, on behalf of Iowa State, I really want to thank the committee for inviting us to this event, and I think we more than proved our worth. Thank you to the University of Notre Dame, their staff did an amazing job, everyone. So gracious, so helpful. I've been doing this a long time, one of the best situations we've ever had here. So thank you to all of them. Certainly want to congratulate Michigan. Outstanding basketball team, played very well. And I guess the last thing I would say is I really could not be more proud of our team. Obviously disappointed in the result of one game, but this team has done so much for our school, I think for women's basketball, for the Big 12, and probably more importantly, they've done a lot for me. As I get to the end, it's nice to be associated with people that do it the right way and represent themselves, their families, our school. So it hurts today, but I tell our teams all the time, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And what happened to us was really special. So I hope they can embrace that when we get through this one.
Thank you, Coach. And with that, we open up the floor to questions for the student athletes first.
Tommy Birch, Des Moines Register, Addy and Audi. What do you guys both think of in terms of how the game played in terms of just constant, runs? It seems like every time you guys went on a run, they went on a run back and forth. What was that like?
It was a lot of fun, first of all. I enjoyed myself despite the results. But, yeah, you put it simply, it's a game of runs, and sometimes it ends in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. They were a fun, competitive team, but we threw our punches as well. It just came down to the wire, really.
Yeah, it was an exciting game. Lots of good basketball being played, lots of good players on both sides. I think everyone saw that today who watched. Just couldn't return some of their hits, and we stayed in there, fought all the way till the end, so just proud of our effort.
It felt like in the second quarter end of it, that's kind of when you hit your stride. What was kind of going right during that time frame?
I think we kind of settled down. First half, we were a little still just, I think, excited. We let them kind of rush us into some bad decisions. So second quarter came around, we got to slow down. I think we were really connecting inside in transition. I was bringing the ball up a little bit more and kind of just reading the help side, and we were able to create some things there.
What do you feel like allowed them to kind of get back into the game during that third quarter where they kind of heated back up?
They were just able to hit some shots, and I think they adjusted to our defense from the first half. They definitely made some adjustments and focused more on kind of an inside-out game. They worked the gaps in the zone pretty well, and that opened up the three-point line and even some mid-range, and they drove to the basket. Honestly, they scored on all three levels, so that's the adjustment that they made that allowed them to get a few more points.
Sam Gibson, Michigan Daily. Can you guys talk about the pace of today's game that Michigan presented to you guys and how you sort of approached that throughout the whole thing?
I mean, it was a quick-paced game. We knew that they were going to look to run the floor. It's what they do best. I think we handled it pretty well. We got back in transition. But, I mean, we knew we couldn't spend too much time crashing the boards because they were going to run it up the floor. So it was really hard to keep up with them, but I think we did a good job overall. And, yeah, they're a dangerous team when you let them get out in transition.
Connor Ferguson, Cyclone fanatic. Audi, the first quarter, it looked like your teammates were having really tough times getting the ball inside to you, but something clicked in the second quarter where the rest of the game it seemed almost seamless. What happened with that?
I don't really know. I wasn't the one throwing the ball, but yeah, I mean, night in and night out, they do a great job of getting the ball inside, and certain teams just make it a little bit more difficult. So just a patience thing. I'm never going to harp on them because I know they're handling a lot of pressure on the ball, bringing the ball off the floor, and reading double teams and whatnot. So just, yeah, I don't know. They got it done, though.
Addy, I guess from your point of view, what changed with your guys' ball movement where Audi was getting so open after the first quarter?
Yeah, I think, again, just the first quarter we were rushed, and we rushed into some quick passes, whereas we had a little bit more patience in the second. And for myself, like I really just had to throw in a ball fake first to kind of just see where the defense was going to come from and read it from there. And once I did that and just slowed down a little bit, it was easier.
Now that the season's done, how would you evaluate how it went for you guys, what you accomplished, and maybe what you would have wanted to accomplish?
I'm not gonna harp on too much what we would have, could have, should have done, because that's over. That's not gonna help us in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure that we all would like a few possessions back, but I mean that's just not what we're about. So I think we had a really successful year. Got a lot of wins. Showed up today, and all the times we played here in March. So super proud of this team as individuals and as a collective. I think that we competed. We wore the jersey with pride, and I'm not looking back on any regrets.
Yeah, just proud of us for sticking through it, through the the good and the bad. A lot of resilience this season, and people had a lot to say. So yeah, just stuck together through it all, and love these girls. So yep, just proud of us.
We're kind of talking to Emily Ryan in the hallway, and I know it's hard to look forward, but she said she's really excited about the future. How do you guys feel about down the road too?
There's a lot to be done. There's a lot left to do. So we definitely look forward to that. And like Addy said, there's a lot of people that got a lot of things to say, but we care most about what's happening in our locker room. And yeah, we're just excited to get back at it. All the more to prove and a lot more ball to play.
Yeah, really gonna miss her. Emily's presence. She's the ultimate teammate. So just gonna be really hard to see her go, but we'll do our best to continue to keep up what the program expects and what she expects from us, and we know she'll be in our corner forever. So just super grateful that we got to play with her, and yeah, we're excited for the future for sure.
Time for just one more question for the student athletes, if we have one.
Hi, Taylor Daniels, Michigan Daily. What was the challenge of facing Michigan when they were running 5 guards for most of the game?
It was different from our defensive philosophy, I think, because a lot of times in the Big 12 especially, we're matching up. There are some big, tall, strong post players, and they don't really operate that way. So I think that, kind of challenged us. I think maybe in the second half more so from the defensive end, but offensively, I think we kind of took advantage of that on the interior.
Yeah, it goes both ways. I mean, it was kind of weird for us. We haven't seen that in our conference, really, 5-guard starting lineup. So they're all really talented. They're a great team, and we did what we could to stop that. And I think, again, like Audi said, it kind of, it was a mismatch on our side too. So, yeah, but just a great team overall.
Addy, Audi, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And we can open up the floor to questions for Coach Fennelly.
Bill, what was your message to the team afterward?
I don't. It's hard to give any kind of pertinent message after a game. Everyone's disappointed. I think the biggest thing is, number one, I thanked them. Number two, I told them I loved them. And number three, I told them that I've been blessed to be the head coach at Iowa State for 30 years, and this team is truly a team that I really, really enjoyed being around. I thanked them for the way they represented our school, and I told them we're not done. Clean the locker room, be gracious when you leave, deal with the media. Basically, the message that we give our team every game is you want to walk out of the building, no excuses, no regrets. And we don't have any. We played as hard as we could play against a very good team, evenly matched. We have a wide open shot to tie the game. If you look at the stats, they're eerily the same. We got outscored at the free throw line. But other than that, it was two teams I thought both played well, both played hard. It was an entertaining game for women's basketball. And this tournament is about one or two plays here and there, and they made them and we didn't, and that's a credit to them.
What are your kind of thoughts now in reflection mode when you look back on this season, and how would you evaluate what I'd kind of asked them what they accomplished, and how would you evaluate it all?
My evaluation is obviously going to be very different than most people, but I thought our team did everything right. They sort of joked, but they showed up. I think showing up is a skill in life. They showed up every day. They did things the right way. They won a lot of games. We played hard in a good league. We played a great schedule. We played in the NCAA tournament again. So I don't know there's a whole lot that I would say, go back and say, oh, we shoulda, coulda, woulda. We played a lot of younger players. Emily Ryan was in and out health-wise, and I think, I just, from my standpoint, I could not be more proud of what they did, and I think they accomplished a lot, and that's all that matters is what they think, and I would agree with their sentiment.
I wasn't going to ask you this, but you had brought up, like, hey, I'm at the end of my kind of road.
Mm-hmm.
How does this type of team push you to keep going, or are you kind of, basically what I'm asking is, what are you saying when you are saying you're at the end of your road? What's that look like?
It means I'm 67 years old, and my time is about up. I don't know when. I really don't. I haven't really thought much about it. But it's just, this business has changed so much, and we're not going to go into all that. But I think what's happened with our team, and I can just speak for the people in our locker room, they have embraced the way that I believe Iowa State should do things. And that's been refreshing at a time when it's become so transactional. Our team is not that way. Now, who knows, when we go home and the portal opens on Tuesday, all hell could break loose. That's the world we live in. But it's just I've been really blessed to do what I do, and been blessed to be around so many phenomenal people. And I joke with my boss is sitting right there, so I got to be careful. I always say that when I leave my house, I'll know I'm going to drive by Vinker Golf Course, turn right to go to my office, or I'm going straight to her and Jamie's office and give them my keys. That's when it's going to happen. And I don't know when that'll be, but I just really have enjoyed what happened this year. Oh.
Hi, Taylor
Hi.
Daniels, Michigan Daily. You mentioned yesterday that Michigan's the first time you've played five
Yes, ma'am.
guards. What was the challenge of that going in, and how do you think it affected the game on both ends of the floor?
No, it was a tremendous challenge. They're very skilled, interchangeable parts. Obviously, it put us puts our defense at stress because there's not a matchup for Audi that she normally would guard. And I think what played out in the game is probably what we could have all sort of predicted. We had a really hard time guarding them, and they had a really hard time guarding us. And that's why the game was so close. The stats were close. They hit a couple big threes. They made a couple plays in transition. Like I said, we lost the free throw line battle, which is always big for us. So it kind of played out like we thought it would, as far as the styles. But I think it was entertaining, and probably both sides were like, "What are we going to do?" And they did it a little bit better than us.
How would you say that pace affected the game today?
I thought early we weren't as locked into their transition offense. We gave up a few things in transition, but their pace is it's not like frenetic, but it's quick, and I think we play sort of that way. So I don't know that it was a huge disadvantage. We gave up a couple transition shots because we didn't get matched up right, but other than that, I thought it was okay. Early, couple mistakes, but overall, I don't think that was a huge part of the game from where we were sitting anyway.
And then in the second quarter, Audi really got going. Did you see a shift that helped your offense get the ball to her more?
Yeah, I think we just, like they mentioned, we were trying way too we were trying to get in there way too fast initially, and I think we had 7 turnovers in the first quarter, and it was just one of the things we tell our team all the time is you got to see the play, and then you got to let the play develop, and not just, yeah, she's going to be open. It might take a second. And I thought in the second quarter we were much more patient. They weren't double teaming nearly as much as they did early. Addy Brown did a great job. Addy Brown's not a point guard, but we had to play her there and facilitated our offense. But I think it was more, we were a little wound up at the beginning and tried to get it in there too much. But after that, it was pretty good.
Time for just one more question.
Sure. Sam Gibson, Michigan Daily. You're up 5 points at halftime.
Yes.
And then you play them pretty close throughout the third quarter. What's just your thoughts going into that final frame?
No, I mean, I think, when you play a game in this tournament, or any game, but especially this tournament, and you're playing a really good team, we tell our team, like, let's get to the fourth quarter and have a chance to win. That's what you want, and we did. And to Michigan's credit, they made some really big plays. They made a couple big shots that, were open, and we had a couple great looks that didn't go in. And, that's the beauty and the agony of this event. Sid's shot goes in or someone's shot goes in and theirs misses, the game is different. But that's the beauty of basketball and the beauty of, in my opinion, the greatest sporting event in our country. So Michigan deserves all the credit. It's a great team, well coached, very skilled, and they'll be a tough out for whoever wins the game going on right now.
Coach Fennelly, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. Thank you for everything. Great job. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you guys for coming. You guys travel home safe, okay?